Okay, so we are officially recording. So I'm with Henry. Okay, Henry, first of all, before we get started, just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, so that we can get to know you as a person going forward.
I really appreciate that. Man, know me as I've heard these people ask other people this question, never me. Man, how can I say? A guy that thought that he should always be in some type of business, like just just the idea of creating value and getting compensated for. I always thought that was so interesting. Like I had a mother by me like the day I got to this world, and I asked her for some lunch money. She's like, "You can make your own lunch money." It's like, well, how can I make my own lunch money? And she said, do this and do that, and it'll leave you with this. I was like, well, yeah, okay. And she started to, like both a lot of entrepreneurs, she started to fill my bag up with candy, like literally, like, okay, now take that money, go to the store, buy 3 more, put it in your bag, go back to school and do this. I'm like, oh, I'm like 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 5 years old, man. And they got to the point to like, I was so busy dealing candy so that I couldn't even get my schoolwork done. It got like, yeah, like, and this continued on to like, she's like, now, you can go home and set up your little store. And it just kept on going. And so anyway, make a long story short, just from that point that I got here, I can even understand language. She instilled that inside me. Like you can create your own income. You can, and she really honed in on me about having people skills. Like I couldn't answer somebody, huh? Or like, yeah, or like, nah, or put my head down. It always was hey, he's talking to you. Look up. Tell him how you feel. Express to him. You can talk. So she really drilled into me like, you can talk. Speak for yourself. You have a mind. Speak, have intelligence. Like we're in the South in the United States. So down here, we always using yes, sir, and no, ma'am, in our sentences. That's just how we are in the South, which gets me a long ways with sellers. Like the moment they hear that come out of my mouth, they don't care if I'm white, black, or brown. When I answer them, yes, sir, we can do that. They immediately tone down. And they, okay, he have a level of respect in this conversation. And it just puts me on in their eyes as a relatable personality. And, maybe it don't apply going up north more, but here in the South area, it makes in the world. So that's what's instilled in me from a little kid. But I'm a guy, man, who's just like, I want freedom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Freedom, man. And at all costs. At all costs. Nice. And what freedom means to me is creating a life financially that you can have control over. And you have to work your ass off to do it, but I think it's worth it. And that's like who I am, bro.
100%. Well, you went from the history, you painted a picture for us. Grateful for that. So what brought you into real estate, and when did you start your company and all that? Let us know that.
Great question. It's crazy how everybody kind of have a similar story. That I was the guy again up late night watching Carlton Sheets when I was young and watching the real shows, and I just thought, man, that was really interesting what this guy is talking about. And I was in Barnes and Nobles one day, and I was a heavy reader, like when I was in my early 20s. And some guy, he said, man, I know what you're looking for, and it's in one book. That's all you're gonna need. I'm looking at this guy like, okay. Are you gonna need? And I grabbed the book of the 100th century. I grabbed that book. I was like, I'm blown away. I got it back when he first wrote it. When I got Rich Dad and Poor Dad, it just came out. It was just coming out. So I'm 40. I just 8, right? I got that book early 20s, and just his concept on life. And I didn't know. And I'm gonna say this real quick. I remember I was in college and I was dropping classes. and I went back and I was doing something else, and this guy with this veteran hat on. He said, man, you keep dropping these classes. You have to figure out what type of worker or what type of person you want to be. I'm like, well, what? He say, you have to figure out, are you a blue collar or you a white collar? I looked at him, he was like, he said, either one of them is great, but you have to figure out which part of the world that you're going to be in. That way you can make a decision about your life. And I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Because here I am more of a blue collar guy, but I keep on taking classes that you would take, right? I'm taking computer tech classes, and that wasn't my personality. So I was more of a visionary. When he told me that, I was like, okay. So I just started lining things up, trying to figure, like most young men trying to figure out, where do I belong in this economic plateau that we call growing up and financially, and how do you take care of your family, and how does it fit towards you, blah, 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 make a long story short. And so I started reading real estate books because something is just put inside me, and I thought it was really interesting, man. And I was like, this is crazy, wow. And I'm going to speak quick. And one day my family had an abandoned house, and about wholesaling. This was before wholesaling was the word wholesaling. This is back when I Buy Ugly Houses first came out.
Wow.
Abandoned house. And I asked my family, I said, do y'all want this house? It's like, no, what you gonna do with it? I'm like, just do you want it? It's like, no, you can have it. I said, are you sure? It's like, yeah, you can have it. I was like, okay. So I went and done some documentation. I don't know why. I took airship of the house. I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, I'm gonna rent it out. But then I looked on it, had $20,000 and $14,000 in back taxes. And I kept reading, trying to figure out what to do. I said, I'm gonna wholesale it. But I didn't know what wholesaling was, right? I was like, I'm gonna wholesale. And I had bought the property for 14. Well, I just paid the back taxes, it was 14,000. Actually, the taxes was more than the house was worth. But anyway, make a long story short, man, I just kept on working in. The next thing you know, I had a renter come up and say, hey, what if I buy it from you? I'm just like, you can buy it? I didn't know how to say it to him. I said, you can buy it for 25,000. That's like, okay, that's the deal. And I just started thinking in my head, okay, how am I gonna do this? So I created owner financing for him, right? You give me $1,000 to pay it off, you can have it. Oh man, it took me a look here. That was the hardest thing I had done, because I had renters that were busting holes in the walls, and it was already it was a. And so, but I kept noticing every time I go to this house, I keep getting like, this renter will be behind like 5 months, but then when they catch up, be like 6,000, 7,000. I was like, well, damn, right? Like, this is crazy. Like, this is actually working. And I was in my early 20s, but I had kids at that time, and it wasn't moving fast. I was going through course, and I left real estate alone. I was just like, I don't even know I didn't really get it, what I'd done. I just looked and I saw this lady. I want to thank Henry for allowing me my chance to buy a house. And she would say that over the years. And people was, and you sell houses? I'm like, I don't sell houses. But I keep saying this lady say that. I was like, but let me get back to what I think is possible. And then that was it, man. I started YouTubing to death. You know what I'm saying? It's too crazy. A year and a half like this. And what caught me was, I heard all the millions of dollars, and I heard all the conversations. I say, it's one thing all these guys got in common. They all kind of have this personality. Everyone was making like crazy M's. I say they all got this personalities. And I had owned a credit repair company for a couple of years. And I noticed, I say 90% of the people I talk to say yes when it was time for me to close any kind of transaction. I don't care what the dollar amount was. And I said, and I was doing this online, right? I stopped doing it. I'm doing this in every major city in the United States. I'm running a credit repair. Once I hop on the phone and hear, we have a conversation, it was like, yeah. I was like, well, it'll be so-and-so. This one a little high, but I think it'll fit you. It'll be like $3,000. They was like, fine, like, where the bill? Like, no matter what it was, I was like, you know what? If I can do this with that same gift that I have, what I think I have of rapport, I can do this in that business. And
yes, sir.
I did, man. You know what I'm saying? I tried it. and I started going with it.
So it's when South Home Buyers was born, right? So so
South
basically,
offers and then switched to South. Yes, sir. That's it.
man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So then you started South Home Buyers, and how was your processes? Like, how did you get people knocking on your door? How did you get them leads?
Oh, man. You gonna need some tissue for this. I got a great story. Like, this is really interesting. I call myself, okay, I'm gonna be this wholesaler, but I didn't know what I was doing. And a girlfriend of mine, she said, "You still doing that? You still buying houses?" I was like, "Yeah." A very new girlfriend at the time. I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, my mom have a house, and she's been trying to get rid of it for years, and it's my grandma, and we need some help with it." I was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, all right." And I really it introduced me to this wholesaler one time. I said, "Man, my girl have this house and we trying to get rid of it. I don't really know about wholesaling, but I'm trying." He told me he had sold over 500 houses.
Wow.
And I mean, if you can help me out with this, that'd be fine. But I was selling, like most people, I was flipping cars at the time. He actually needed a car because he was coming from New York. So he said, "Well, man, look, we can work out something." Like, "Yeah, we can work out whatever." So he ended up trying to buy a car from me. And I asked him, "Can you help me with this deal?" He looked at the deal. We pulled up. He's like, "Man, this is really tore down trash." Like, he said, "You ought to I think we can get this thing sold real quick." He said, "Let me hop on the phone." He called me back 30 minutes later. He said, "Look, I can get you $5,000. I probably can get her like 15,000, and you can be in and out of this thing because this is a tear down. It's probably worth about $20,000, if not that." I was like, "Cool, 5,000." Right. I just had a conversation at $5,000. So I'm like, "Okay, that's okay." All right. So I ain't saying nothing. But as he's talking to me, he keep running into like what we call cloudiness, right? Now we
Okay.
find aunt is tied to it, and there's a cousin tied to it. And now it got to go through probate. And now it's like all these problems kept coming up. Like, man, we probably have to, okay, we probably have to, I get wholesalers calling me right now. We probably gonna have to, get an attorney, stuff like that. So what happened? Houston attorney, he said, "Well, it's gonna cost us this and this and that." And I was like, he's like, "Man, it's gonna probably take a little bit." I'm like, "Okay." The next thing you know, Christmas went around. I called him back. He didn't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I say, "Man, the family asking about the property. What's going on? What you think?" No answer. I say, "What the hell?" I text him, right? No answer. He stopped taking my calls. But when I'm talking to him before Christmas, as I'm going through Redfin, I keep looking at that same property that looked like the one I was selling. He said it was worth 20. Everybody was selling for 75, 80. I said, "But
Wow.
why are we selling this for 20, 30? And everybody's selling these properties for 65 and 80. He said, "Look, man, this is some trash. Like, bro, you need to get rid of this thing because you're going to end up in a bind like this. It don't matter what they getting online is not the real number, right?" I'm like, okay. But in my mind, I'm like, again, like common sense telling me this is worth. I said, but I guess he know the business. But he stopped returning my phone calls. So my girlfriend, I'm trying to impress her at the time. She's like, "So what we going to do about the house?" Made my ass become a wholesaler for real. So when he stopped, I said, "Okay, so I'm reading all our last text messages. What do I do next?" I put the house on this site called My Deals here in Houston. It's called Sell My Deals. I put it on there. Somebody text me. Boom. They say, "Hey." I'm like, and I said, "You know what? People have been trying to sell this. I'm gonna sell it at the same price I've been seeing it online." I had a price 65,000. Somebody called me from the night and they said, "Hey, that's your property?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "I want it."
Okay.
Like, shit. Deal. Okay. You want it for 65? I'm like, what the? And I'm trying to text the dude, like, "Hey, man, she wants 65. He did not respond. I said, okay. So, man, when I tell you, the first property I wholesale ended up making a lot of money. Took me 13 months to wholesale that property. It had every major I had to get 5 death certificates, 10 airship affidavits, because it belonged to like 15 different people when when a parent died. Now the property dispersed through the whole family, and now family members die, some get married. Then, and if they did die and they got married, and somebody didn't get a will, then now a portion goes to the children, and the children have to agree. So it was sprinkled with like 25 people, right? And I did it. I went and got every signature. I went and got every death certificate. I went and then come to find out the last wholesaler, tell you how bad it was. 3 wholesalers tried to wholesale it before I had it. 2 real estate agents and 2 lawyers, they all quit.
Wow.
Everybody who tried to get that property quit. When I started getting to the end, found out it had another $1,700 lien from the last wholesaler. He put a memorandum on it because something happened with him and my mother-in-law. It was cloudy. I had to go hunt him down 2 hours away, pay him cash to get the lien left. Okay, good. We clear now. I got it for 65. I'm about to sell it now to my mother-in-law for 25. Right? That price difference. Right before we closed, the title company called me, Henry, did you know that your seller is in bankruptcy?
Ooh.
That means that all the proceeds from the property, right? She will go straight to her bankruptcy, and she's in the arrears in her bankruptcy. Like she can't even sell the property because it's going to show that she's making a financial. This is also she getting a financial increase, so she can't even sell it. 12 months. I'm like, now look, I paid my real estate attorney. I'm in him to like $3,000 down. I didn't pay the lien off thousands of dollars. I'm paying notary $200 or $300 to go out and find these people in these crazy places to sign. I'm in this thing like out of my pocket, right? This is my first deal. So my real estate attorney called me and said, Henry, what's going on with the deal? I said, man, I'm tired, man. I told you what you need to do. Just do that because we got to finish this deal. I said, okay. I jumped on the phone with her bankruptcy representative, explained to them what was going on. They said, hey, she can option out. She only got 5 months to go. And, we'll give her, she can option out. We can clear up her bankruptcy. She can get her funds and it can be over with. I'm like, what? Okay. So boom, she gets out of bankruptcy, blah, blah, she clears all that. I send it to the title company. They're like, wow, bro, like you stay with it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So when they said all to clear, my first deal, I done $35,000, man. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's how I got started. And that's how I got from that point on. I went and got everything they said I needed to get. I didn't know how to do certain things. So I went on this site called Upwork, and this girl said, hey, Henry, you got a problem with getting that website? I was like, yeah. She said, give me 5 minutes. She went and got my website up and got my, went and got my domain name and connected everything in like 2 or 3 seconds. And I looked at her background. She had a master's degree in business. And I hired her with me ever since. And she's like badass.
Wow, man. So, man, tell us, like, when did you come out, Hustle Media? Like, where did you see Hustle Media? Who did you hear from, or was a referral? Let us know, how did you get in contact with Hustle Media?
Yeah, I guess when iPhone changed, iPhone allowed you to start tracking. I guess the things I was typing, Hustle Media kept on following the things I was typing. I kept seeing Hustle Media ad like in my damn face. And I'm familiar with how ads run on Google and Instagram because I had an Instagram business for years. But I kept saying like, damn. But the only thing different about his ads was that he wasn't saying, hey, you there, wholesaler, you stop. He didn't have that message. Or he wasn't like, I know you felt it as an investor. He didn't have that, right? It's just this dude just standing in front of his house, right? And it wasn't like a lot of flair to it. And it's kind of like, are you tired of the, guaranteed inbound leads, so. And I was like, this is interesting. Because you know how you watch the Geico commercial? It's like they're talking about it, goddamn riding a speedboat or some shit, right? It's kind of like, that's what Hustle Media, that's what his ad was like. I'm like, it keep on in the colors. I'm like, this is what I do to other people with my ass, and it's doing this to me like right now. And he kept drawing me in. I was just like, and so I made a comment under his ad one day, and everybody was comments. And I made a comment. I said, this is inbound leads. I said, it really works, but you really have to get ready and go through the journey. Everybody thought I was a part of Hustle Media. They kept on saying, and they kept on like, hey man, how's it going with the company? How's it going with the company? I'm like, I'm not with the company. I'm like, well, maybe I need to be with the company because everybody was so interested, right? And I said, and I was just tired. And if you asked me that question, I was getting burnt out, man. I was so burnt out on the way I was getting leads. And I started understanding, how much it costs per contract. And when I talked to the sales guy from Hustle Media, this is how y'all sales guy got me. We talked, and then he's like, man, I'll get back. We'll talk again next week. And he probably called me once, and I didn't answer the phone. Then you expect for salespeople to just keep blowing you up. He didn't. I said, wait a minute, this nigga did not call me back. Then I tried to call him back one time. He didn't answer the phone. I said, wait a minute. Look, I'm so used to salespeople trying to say he's not really trying to, and I'm talking to him on the phone. He wasn't trying to, what I loved about it, he was a wholesaler for real. So he knew the real pain. Sometimes you talk to these guys, they haven't wholesale one house, but they definitely want you to spend and I spent $35,000 on courses. They haven't really been in the business. They just kind of like, the sales reps. But this guy I was talking to, he really knew matter of fact, we in the same wholesale group, right? So.
Oh, yeah, that's Steve, right?
Steve. So we was talking like buddies, like everything he was saying was true. I had already done my own Facebook marketing as wholesaling. So I knew about how you land places in different forums here and there, and it's scattered, and I understood. So everything he was saying, it was a no BS. It was a no fluff. He wasn't like, look, man, I made like these. He wasn't saying that. He was like, no, man. He was telling about some things he got tied up in this state and in that state. And what he was saying was actually real because I was an experienced guy at the time, and what he was saying was real. And I was like, everybody being 100. And I started thinking about the cost. I'm like, that's what it costs per lead anyway. That's what. And I'm like, if I get one contract from one lead, then I'm like, that's great. That's the ROI right there. Like, that's great. I'm not even talking. I'm just saying just from one lead to get one contract. I'm not even talking about that. All the leads that come in through this channel is freaking crazy. Like, it's crazy. But that's how I got started, man. It was a sales rep when I heard the numbers, and I knew kind of like, these guys are not making millions of dollars, because when I started, I understand business concepts and like what it costs. I knew what it cost me. And when you're telling me what you're charging per month, plus you paying VA work, plus you paying back end work, plus you paying for these ads, that's you damn near like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I know that you started with outbound marketing, cold calling and that, and you said that you stopped doing that and you just focus on that. Tell us why did you stop doing that, the outbound?
It just stopped making sense to me. It stopped making business sense to me. I don't know too many people who do just online. Well, one of the biggest names does now, Sean Terry. But I just started looking at the common sense things start hitting me. Every time I start looking at my cold callers, I start looking at like, before you start cold calling, of course, the numbers pop up and it starts showing you like every number that has a do not call list on it and a do not disturb name on it. And I can start running the numbers, so you start thinking like, okay, I got to call 3,000 people. Like 1,000 of them already have do not call set on their phone. The iPhones are set already, but if you don't want a new number calling you, it will not answer it. You already 50% blocked out right then. And right, it takes 3,000 phone calls probably to get a contract. I'm already down to like 1,200, right? So that means I got another 3,000 to get a contract when I'm already 50% gone on my first 3,000. So it's gonna take me 6,000 phone calls to maybe get a contract and a half. Maybe.
Wow.
That maybe get you on the phone and hope that you got to plead them and beg them down to say, yes, we agree. That's fine. But that's my ass paying every single week $6 an hour for full-time cold callers, $125 per phone line that we're using, 12 to 14 cents per skip trace number, right? Plus the skip tracing service, whether you're in prop stream or batch, not even talking about batch services. If you're using SMS, they charge you $169 a month. That's all with a hope to get somebody gonna say, I'll consider an offer. In a city like Houston, Texas, where that is oversaturated with wholesalers and realtors, by the time you call that seller, you may be the ninth phone call that they got about that same property.
Wow.
So they're
That's crazy.
It can be a doghouse, but because so many people have called them, it's like, nah, I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna get like a $500,000 because they had so many people call them about the same property. So you kind of fighting right here, bro. Like it just didn't make. I was like, and then you have to manage all these calls and going into Podio, and your manager has to get on the phone with them, and you got to talk to the other manager. They got to filter through. I'm like, bro, I can't sit here, right, pay all these fees in dollars with a hope to call to people who's already received 9 phone calls. And I got tired of that shit. Like, if I, brother, go to Hustle Media, if I can talk to 2 sellers says yes, I'll work with 2 yeses at whatever dollar my Hustle Media is charging versus 2 maybes. And I'm close to $5,000 in expenses plus payroll a month.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And then how's your experience been with Hustle Media since you started?
Man, I would say Hustle Media is the Chick-fil-A is the Chick-fil-A of social media building for investors. I would say that like you guys like go out your way. And I love the fact, I can just go on and on, but I do love the fact that, like I say, I follow Esteban on his regular Instagram, and it has nothing to do with Hustle Media, right? That says a lot about just who you are as a person. I would be pissed if every day he's like, look at the millions I'm doing, and I'm knowing that I'm one of his people and I'm struggling, but he has a total different concept that he's trying to bring, which is weird. Like it's real estate, but it's like some other kind of thing. I don't even know what that is. But I love that the face of the company is not trying to promote this so much. He's kind of still keeping it as a cloud company. And that shit's so cool, man. Because I worked before for cloud companies, under cloud companies, and they job is to make sure that they handle back end and you are the face. And I think you guys do an excellent job at that. And I can go on and on, and just it's laid out really for you, but you do have to work. It's laid out really for you. All the support that you need. Like the moment I have any issue, it's not like 24 hours somebody will get with you, or 1-800 number call service somebody gonna get with you, or you got to talk to somebody else, talk to somebody else, and they gonna get with you. And none of that. It's like, hey, let's hop on the call and fix it. You're like, what? Right? You can't get that in any other. You can't get that doing your own damn business, right? Like, yeah, that shit is like crazy. And I understand that. My concept, what I said to you at first, is I understand when I'm not, like today, man, I was talking to my tax accountant. I'm doing all kinds of things, and I got leads. Bing, bing. These are not like, hey, these are not my cold caller saying, hey, Henry, this guy said, he's looking to sell. It's kind of closer to the range. You want to call back and give him a call? Like, that's like after I'm finished doing this important deal, I got to go now and see if we can convince this guy to be at this price. When I go to my Hustle immediately, it's already at the price point that I need to sell it at 90% of the time. and it's waiting for me to come back. I don't even get on the ISA who calls me and say, Henry, you have time to talk to the seller right now? I'm like, what? Oh, like, I don't have to like call them 50, like they on the phone, like right, he's asking you, like, look, I'm telling you, this the property is a pretty good one. They sold. You got time to talk? It's like, yeah, man, I can take a call, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, I never thought, like, this is before its time. Like, bro, this is crazy. It's like, yeah, it's like condescending, like valet parking. Like, what?
Man, I love that. I love the energy as well. Like,
Yeah.
for example, any people that you put on contract, anything like that going on? Tell us about the deals that you are currently working on.
5 seconds from now, a deal the deal is so big. The deal is so big that I'm currently working on now. The guys that I partner with, you know, they do millions and millions of dollars. They want to be buddies with mine. They even asking me, Henry, where you get your leads? He just texted me 2 seconds ago. He's like, Henry, you want to go ahead? And it's so big to that it's so nice to that, like, you want to go ahead and get $15,000 now, like Friday, or you want to wait to get $1,000 when we list it together, like next week, like, and that's a Hustle Media League. That's the Richmond property. When you go back, that's on Jonda Street. It's a Richmond. So then, like, you want the $15,000 now, or you want to get the $25,000? We can list it all together, you know. And so we're talking about that, like, right now. They wait for me to send over my business entity to their. So that's one that's going on through Hustle Media. I got another Ovations agreement that's already about to be signed. That's a $250,000 property that I got at $150. No, both deals, I didn't have to negotiate a price. They already had the price set when they signed out the paperwork. When they filled out the application, when they put Social Media, this is the price they already had. So there was no price negotiations there. I didn't have to ask about the condition. The conditions was already there. I didn't have to wonder what was going on with the property. Everything was already in line. I just had to pick up the phone and tell them, can I come out and see the property? They're like, well, yeah. Like, what? I didn't have to go through thousands of names and numbers and upload the list, and the list is a bad list. We need another list. Like, bro, like, I'm so tired of sending y'all asses lists at $300 every time I skip trace it. I was sending 1,400 numbers to 2 cold callers that was going through it in 4 days. It was costing me $500 every time I skip traced it. So they was doing it every 5 days. This without a lead. They was like, oh, that's a bad list. We need another one. You're talking like I'm feeding you guys oatmeal, and you're like, I don't like it, and they give me another spoon. It's like costing me thousands of dollars. That's a bad list. Send another one. That's another. Yeah. By the way, Friday, man, we're gonna invoice you for another 900, right? On top of the list. If you don't know that, bro, if you don't understand that part, you're gonna be out of business, which I did quit like one time. But anyway, back to your subject. That's under contract. I got another property listed at $425,000. I got it at $280,000. That's in Sour Lake. You can look that up. That's for $280,000. That's under contract. Oh man, that one. I have another one. What am I closing? That's Sour Lake. That's Richmond. That's the business one. Oh, Seabrook.
Seabrook, yeah.
Seabrook came in, and you need to record this part. Through Hustle Media, do not advertise that they coach how to do creative deals, but Hustle Media does provide like coaching on every aspect. And it's so serious, man, because if you don't understand how to do creative deals, you really cutting your business in half. I thought that was just something people just say, but literally through Hustle Media, listen to some of their videos, I learned how to do a creative deal with this seller here, and it needed it because she's kind of upside down. She owes with the so the property right now, if you look on Zillow here in Seabrook, is a $420,000 estimate by Zillow, $422,000 property. It's in it probably needs $10,000 worth of sweeping and mopping. But we doing the paperwork like Monday or Tuesday. I talked to the seller, went out, we agreed on a subject to deal. I'm literally paying $5,000 to take over her mortgage, and she's paid it down to $260,000.
Wow.
So I'm literally coming out of my pocket for $5,000.
Wow.
She's not in arrears. Her mortgage payment is a little high. It's like $2,600. It depends on what you call high. $2,600. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. When I was over there, if you go through my videos, she got a sunroom. I don't know. It's a really big in my whole apartment. She was getting brand new windows on the sunroom. All her fencing in the back. She's getting brand new fencing coming out of her pocket. All the way. So she's upgrading her property as she's walking out the door, and she is excited as hell to get out of it. She thought I was lying. She was like, "Wait a minute." Okay. They let me know the deal just went through on the Richmond. That's my guys. So she's excited. She's like, "So you really gonna like just give me money to move and take over the payment?" I'm like, yeah. She's like, "I'm that like." It's now every phone call, the first thing out of my mouth is, "So look, do you need all your money now? If not, we can probably structure something to get you your money a little bit how you want this a little bit later, and we can give you some money now, and we can get you some money later. But in the meantime, I also get monthly payments and keep you some cash flow in the meantime, and we'll take just go into it." The moment I hop on the phone, every seller is like, "You know what? That don't sound too bad." Like, okay.
Wow.
I would say that, man. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was like, who would do that, right? But when I see they like, yeah. So I'm gonna own millions of dollars in real estate, and I'm not gonna get one bank.
That's crazy, man.
I don't care what the interest rates are. I don't care about no doc. I'm not getting out one bank loan, and I'm gonna own millions of dollars in real estate.
Wow.
And
wow.
It's not gonna show that I have no debt.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's super crazy. So, like, how many deals do you have then? Like overall, counting all of them, how many deals that you had from Hustle Media?
From Hustle Media so I've turned down like 5 because they just kind of didn't fit.
Okay.
So like, bro, it don't fit us. It don't fit me. It's not, this not gonna really work for what we're trying to do. I try to, be easy in the conversation. So if I was just, we're not gonna even talk about, oh man. 5 contracts in play right now. Maybe 2 like right now, and I still have some. We're still working on some more details on the exit strategy, but I have 5 contracts. And man, I just wish I had, some things that's in my immediate area that they called, and they was like, we got everything almost done, except like, it's like the contract is sitting in their email. I just need them to sign. Like, if they would sign in 90 days, yeah, in this 90 days, I can net 150,000.
Wow.
So if we start doing projections, right?
and
90 days, man, I do 1,000, right? What is that about 12 months?
That's crazy, man. And just today you got like 4 leads, right? And you're gonna be working those leads again.
Just today. Today I already got 2 buyers for 2 of those leads already. So it's just a tying that together. So the moment they hit me, I'm already on the phone. Like, hey, I got something coming through. You look like you can handle it. Like, yeah, we need it. We want it. So yeah, like,
man, that's crazy. So tell me, like, Henry, like, let's say now someone it's on the fence of joining Hustle Media. You know, and they've seen the ads and everything, but they just need that extra push. What would you say to them?
And they ask me too. Like people, they try to ask me a lot. Like, you know, number one, I just think I'm gonna be kind of harsh when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to, and that's me, bro. Like I'm just willing to invest. I'm willing to take a chance on myself. The business is not gonna do it for you, no matter what business it is. I mean, Hustle Media come really close, right? But you got to be willing to invest in order for you to see a return, and that's on anything, right? Is you can't. It's not like your W-2. You're not going to work 2 or 3 weeks and then you sit back and hope to get a check, right? If you're going to be in that business, then you might as well go get a job. So, but if you're going to be in this business and this business require an initial investment, and you have to be willing to say, I'm willing to do that, right?
100%.
The math, like, okay, if it is the number that Hustle Media is talking about, and you know the average contract is from 20, average, $17,000 to $30,000, what you scared of? What you think in 30 days you're not gonna talk to nobody? So what are you scared of? That's how I see it. What you ought to be scared of is getting a list of 3,000 and hoping that somebody that I don't know. That's just anyway. But anybody on the fence, I would say like something else I didn't mention. If you during a pandemic, everybody, of course, these days is just to me, cold calling and stuff like that is almost like, I ain't gonna say the stone age and it's really good, but it's just I just want to be in a tech age and everybody on their freaking phone. People TVs are off, they on their phone. If they on their phone and you holding a media business and you're not advertising your business online, what you don't need to be in, bro, what you doing, right? It's what are you doing? Like if you're in business and you're supposed to be advertising your company as holding a service and you're not on the biggest platform where most people are hanging out, how you gonna get seen?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
And then number two, PPC is the bomb, right? It's the lick, and everybody got that going on. But I'm kind of thinking around the corner for me, right? Just for me, I'm like PPC is cool. But it's a lot of Google going on. It's a lot of Google searches going on. I kind of like that I'm on the other page. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that I'm on Facebook, in which people scrolling on Facebook longer than they just scrolling on the Google. I don't say that, but you on your Facebook as a, how can I say it? As a person that's finding just things that's interesting longer than you might be up and down on your Google search. 100%. So I like that I'm around in your Facebook space a whole lot, and I know that in the Google world, and I'm going to go there eventually, and that's fine. But I like the fact that I'm on Facebook versus Google because when you hit Google, everybody's on there. You don't know which one to push. The top two, they're going to get a lot of hits, and that's fine. But for what it costs, and kind of what I get back from Google once it goes to my website, I don't get the help for as what Hustle Media does, like. For an ad, filtering the lead, talking to the lead, pre-qualifying the lead. I'm not gonna get that through my Carrot website. It's just gonna have the basic information. I gotta hope to call their asses back, right? That's cool, but for like $5,000 a month, that's a lot of work. I don't have to check down for what Hustle Media is charging. Not every single one gonna be right there because people got things to do, but 70% of the time, if you do 70% of anything in real estate, look here, you win in. I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 people that hits my page, I can talk to them instantly or when I feel like it. You don't ever hear that in real estate, bro. It's like, what is that? Direct mail is like, you get a 1%, a 2% response rate, you're doing well. Cold calling, if you get a 3%, all those damn crazy numbers, bro, that you gotta pay for out of pocket.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to me, it just makes business sense. It gives me a peace of mind, and I can just work my 1 or 2 deals a month, or I can work how many they send me, you know, and work on doing something else besides constantly working in my business. You can literally work on your business because hustle really kind of like backing you up, like for real, for real.
Gotcha, man. Thank you for that. Last question, Henry, before I let you go. Tell us, what's your favorite part working with Hustle Media team?
I mean, definitely the customer service. Customer, they got your train. Yeah, customer service, like, because it's been times I've been frustrated about something, and from when I talk to sales rep about it, and when I talk to management about it, which meaning you and your team, nobody kind of fed into my negative, crazy energy. They was kind of like, it's cool, like we got you. You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot, you know, because I was like, man, boom, boom. It's like, okay, we got you. Let's make an adjustment, you know? And every time I thought that something needed to be done, you guys made an adjustment. And, you know, and that's, you know, what business, you know, you finna just, what business, you know, you can jump in and the waves just kick back, feet up, and it's going to be pretty. Like, no business is like that.
That's true.
But, you know, by you guys, however you guys train together and kind of defuse however a customer or, you know, an investor may be feeling, like that helps like a whole freaking life. Like no bullshit. So I'll have to say the customer service support. And number 2 is, and I don't know if you want to record this or not, the ads themselves. That's badass. Like, let me tell you what happens to people in this business with ads. Look here, it makes you want to cry. When all the hagglers online see you got an ad up, oh, they gun to your ad and they write all kind of craziness. Like, you trying to blood suck these people, you just a blood sucker, you know, you guys are fraud, blah, blah, blah. But his ads, number 1, they take up so much space, but they have so much substance and content, there's no real argument there. Because you just put, hey, buy houses for cash. Oh, they're going to light you up. Look here. They're going to go into your ad. They're going to write so much negative shit on your ad, you won't want to take it down. But the way he places his ad, the way he does his ad, it has so much content of what he's actually looking for. And the way the ad really looks like, hey, we got a certain market we're looking for. I probably, you know, that's crazy, man. For me to probably have one comment in this whole time versus when I look at the other people's ads, it's brutal. I had to go, I literally go on the other people's ads and defend the person who's running the ad. Like, even the big boys, like even the giant big mega stars doing Facebook marketing, they go on to there like, you know, this is trash. You're trying to steal people money. People just go on and on. I don't have no issues. Like I almost never. I must like never. People don't go on my ads like they just don't, because of the way that he must have thought of everything. Because of the quality of the ads, man, it pulls a certain demographic. It cuts down on anybody having negative things to say because of the content is so heavy, and it's pulling in the type of seller that you're looking for because got it set up. That's a bad boy. I mean,
yeah.
Anybody else, you know, price points on this would probably be a lot different. But I think the way he got it set up, he's truly trying to help the investor, bro.
Exactly. The thing is, Esteban is also an investor himself, wholesaler as well, you know, so he understands the market because he's part of the market. So that's why all our automation is kind of tailor-made, you know, so he understands what the consumer must feel and all that in order for them to take a decision. So yeah, man, everything that you have, it's you know, it's someone that you already knows an investor. He can put himself in your guys' shoes, which is the beauty of it, right? Rather than someone, just like you said, someone that thinks they know, but they don't really know. Okay. But yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for making time today, and I appreciate it. And we'll definitely meet up next time. Take care, Henry. Bye bye.